Ask here in the hall. Whoever wishes to ask a question is requested to stand up, hold the mic close to their mouth and speak clearly and loudly. The connection between Passover, matter and Marit is written in the hardest H. In the time of the temple he would bind together Passover and eat them together to observe what was said. They shall eat it with matter and bitter herbs. We should understand this in the work. What does the connection between those three things that he would eat together imply? To understand the meaning of the Passover offering at the time of the Exodus from Egypt, when they came out from the enslavement they were under in Egypt, we should first understand the meaning of the exile in Egypt. From what did they suffer? The concerning the Marit is written in the this mar we are eating. What is it? For the lives of our fathers in Egypt were made bitter by the Egyptians, as it was said, and they made their lives bitter with hard work which they made them do hard labor. You should understand what and they made their lives bitter with hard work means. What is it in the work of the Creator? It is known that the work of the Creator is when we work for the sake of the Creator, when we are rewarded with adhering to the life of lives precisely, when we work in order to bestow. This is the time to receive the delight and pleasure the Creator created in order to do good to his creations. This means that the salvation of the Lord comes into the vessels of bestow. Should make two discernments concerning the entrance of the abundance into the vessels of bestow. One, the abundance comes in order to create vessels of bestow. Two, the light that comes once he has vessels of bestow. This means that when one wants to walk on the path of bestowing contentment upon one's Maker and not for one's own sake, the body resists with all its might and does not let him make any movement, takes away from him all the motivation and strength that he had in order to do things for the Creator. When a person sees the truth as it really is, when he sees how immersed he is in self-love and there is no spark in his body that will let him do anything in order to bestow, in that state a person has already achieved the truth, meaning he has come to the recognition of evil. At that time he has no way to help himself, and there is only one advice: to cry out to the Creator to help him, as it is written, and the children of Israel sighed from the work, and they cried out, and their cry rose up to God from the work. This is the meaning of what was said: he who comes to purify is ated the so asks with what it replies with a holy soul. It follows that the meaning of and they made their lives bitter means that they did not let them work in order to best stir, which yields adhesion with the life of lives. Instead, the sh of Egypt and Pharaoh governed the children of Israel with a governance of self-love, so they could not do anything against the Egyptians' will. This was the exile. They wanted to come out of this exile, but could not. Accordingly, the meaning of what is written, and the children of Israel sighed from their work. Which work are we speaking of? It means that it is from the work of their Creator. This is called hard work, since it was difficult for them to work in order to bestow, because the Egyptians and Pharaoh, king of Egypt, installed in them their thoughts and desires. In other words, since the keeper of Egypt is primarily self-love, the Egyptians ruled over the people of Israel, so that the people of Israel too would walk in their way called self-love. It was difficult for Israel to overcome these thoughts. This is the meaning of what is written, and the children of Israel sighed from their work. That is while they were walking on the path of the Egyptians, which is in order to receive. The body gave them food, and it was not hard for them to do the work of the Creator. It is known that the Egyptians were servants of their Creator, as our sages wrote about what is written, and he took 600 carriages, and should you ask, from where did Egypt have livestock? It was said, and all the livestock of Egypt died. It was from those who fear the word of their Lord, as it is written, he won among the servants of Pharaoh, who feared the word of the Lord, made his servants and his livestock flee into their houses. From here they said, here he who fears the word of the Lord will cause Israel's failure. Rashi concludes from this Rabbi Shimon would say the purest among the Egyptians, kill the best among the snakes, smash its brains. It therefore follows that the hard work that they had was work in the field, for field is the holy divinity. As it is known that Mal is called a field, it was difficult for them to take upon themselves the burden of their kingdom of heaven in order to bestow, but the Egyptians wanted them to do the holy work in order to receive. They let them think that this is called he who fears is the word of their Lord. However, from this discernment came Israel's failure, meaning to those who are yes, straight to the Creator. They wanted all their work to be only for their own sake, and from this emerged the failure. That is, the failure was primarily when the Egyptians spoke to Israel in the language of fearing the Creator. From this language emerged all of Israel's failures. Had the Egyptians spoke the language of the secular, the people of Israel would have fled from their influence for sure if they had come to them with their thoughts and wishes. Now we can interpret what is written, and the Egyptians enslaved Israel with hard work. Ses said with a soft mouth. We should understand the meaning of soft mouth in the work of the Creator. As was said above, the Egyptians spoke with thoughts and desires that we must serve the Creator, but in order to receive this is called a soft mouth. That is, the body agrees more to do the holy work with the intention to receive, and there is no need to aim to bestow. It follows that with these words they caused Israel to have hard work while assuming the burden of the kingdom of heaven, and for this reason everyone in Israel said that the holy work in order to bestow is very difficult. For this reason the Egyptians imparted upon them thoughts that it is better to work in order to receive. In this way they would see that each day they progress in good deeds. The work in the form of Israel, they see for themselves that it is difficult, and the evidence of this is that they see no progress in the work. It follows that a soft mouth means that they make Israel think that if they follow their way, it is easier work. This is called soft, meaning that it is easier to advance in the holy work. With these complaints the Egyptians made their lives bitter with hard work, for they would always explain to Israel that the work of Israel is called hard work, and it is not for them. With more means that the Egyptians explained to Israel that the severity of bestow, whereas the work of Egypt will always be white, meaning they will feel no darkness in the work, and the body will agree to this work. This is called lime bricks, meaning that the work of Egypt is always regarded as lime, white without any stains or dirt, but they will always be perfect. By this they made it very difficult for Israel to work for the Creator. In other words, the hard work extended from the Egyptians always telling them about the severity in the work of bestowal, and the lime, the bricks that there are in this work, and the fear of the Egyptians. It was said that from the one who feared the Lord extended Israel's failure. This means that from this extended to them the hard work in the field, meaning in the kingdom of heaven, that they wanted to take upon themselves but could not. It's from here that Rabbi Shimon says of he who fears the word of the Lord, the purest among the Egyptians, kill the best among the snakes, smash its brains. We should interpret the words of Rabbi Shimon, the purest among the Egyptians. Kill, that is what the Egyptians say is pure. Kill, since our sages said he who comes to kill you, kill him first. In other words, that which the Egyptians tell you is pure, that this path is fit to walk in. Know that he wishes to kill you from spiritual life. Therefore kill these thoughts, the best among the snakes, smash its brains. It means that if the snake, which is the evil in man, advises you that this path is good for you and makes you clearly see in the way that the serpent came to Eve, do not argue with it but smash its brains. That is all the intellect that it explains. Smash that Intellect, in other words, we must go above reason. Now we will explain the meaning of the matan bread in the work. We should interpret the word matter from the worker, strife for the anger and for the quarrel of the children of Israel, and for their trying the Lord, saying, Is the Lord among us or not? The translation into Aramaic says, about the mat strife is because the children of Israel strove. It follows that matter comes from the word strife, meaning that the people of Israel had a quarrel with the Creator over why He made it so difficult to work in order to bestow, and why even though they try to come out of Egypt's governance, not only are they not advancing, they see that they are even regressing. In other words, they were tasting bitterness in their work, which caused them to quarrel with their Creator, and a strife is called mat. We see that over such a complaint the people of Israel quarreled with Moses, meaning when they saw that when they began to work for the sake of their Creator they had become worse, as it is written, and they said to them, May the Lord look upon you and judge, for you have made our scent OD in Pharaoh's eyes. These complaints that they said to Moses, Moses said to the Creator, as it is written, and Moses returned to the Lord and said, O Lord, why have you brought harm to this people? Why did you send me? Ever since I came to Pharaoh to speak in their name, he has done harm to this people, and you have not delivered your people at all. We should interpret their complaints to Moses when they said, We'll see and judge. It means that they quarreled with Moses, since Moses told them to believe in the Creator, so they went out of the body's control. Pharaoh, king of Egypt, controls the body, and he afflicts that they began to work in mind and heart, and saw that the body, which is Pharaoh, began to govern them. That is everything they wanted to do in the work of the Creator. The body resisted vigorously before they began to work in Moses' way. They had strength in the work, but now everything they do the body loathes. This is the meaning of what is written about Moses, for you have made our scent odious in Pharaoh's eyes. In other words, our body loathes our spirit in the work of the Creator. Once we begin the path of bestow, afterward Moses went to the Creator with the complaints of Israel, who quarreled with Moses over bringing them the message from their Creator. It is written about it, and Moses returned to the Lord and said, Why have you brought harm to this people? Why did you send me? Meaning, what are the complaints? He said, Ever since I came to Pharaoh to speak in your name, he has done harm to this people, and you have not delivered your people at all. Ever since I came to the children of Israel means to the bodies which are called Pharaoh to speak in your name, means that everyone will begin to work for the sake of their Creator. This is the meaning of in your name. It stands to reason that since everyone wants only the truth, or is there anyone who is a fool and wants to walk on the path of falsehood? Rather, indeed, everyone wants the truth, as always. When knowing that someone is lying, no one wants to listen to him. But here they said, Why is it that when Moses came and told them to walk on the path of truth, the body which is called Pharaoh makes our scent odious? When we begin this work for this reason, they had grievances against the Creator over worse now than before Moses came to them as the Creator's messenger. He wanted to deliver them from exile. So why are they seeing now that they are going deeper into exile that Pharaoh controls the body more forcefully and with more intellect, making them understand each time with a different argument? It follows that Israel's situation prior to Moses' coming to them as a messenger of the Creator was better in the work. Now, however, they see that their bodies, which are regarded as Pharaoh, have complete control over the children of Israel. That is where there should have been high spirits from knowing that they are walking on the path of truth. The opposite occurred in the eyes of the body which is called Pharaoh. What spirit did they have? It is written about it, for you have made our scent odious in Pharaoh's eyes. The body was telling them what Spirit is there in the work of bestow, making the scent odious means a bad smell that is impossible to tolerate. This means that they could not stand this mindset and wanted to escape the way one runs from stench that is instead of the work on the path of truth, bringing high spirits so that a person will want to stay forever in that mindset. The opposite occurred. Here, from the work of bestowal, they received the mindset of stench, meaning that they wanted to escape that mindset and could not stand it for even a minute. It is as was said to Moses, for you have made our scent odious. Moses brought Israel's grievances to the Creator and asked him, why have you sent me? The Creator replied to Moses, as it is written, and the Lord said to Moses, now you will see that which I will do to Pharaoh, for with a mighty hand he will send them. The answer to why he has made the work of bestow so hard was that he wanted the mighty hand to be revealed. As it is written, so with a mighty hand he would send them, and with a mighty hand he will drive them out of his land. In which way is a mighty hand necessary? It is precisely when the other party resists with all its might, then it can be said that we must use a mighty hand. But if the other party is weak, it cannot be said that it requires a mighty hand to deal with it. It is as the allegory that Balaam said at normally when two people are disputed, sometimes they move into a fist fight. The one who sees that he cannot overcome where other takes a knife against him. When the other one sees that he has a knife, he takes a pistol, and when that one sees he has a pistol, he takes a rifle, and so forth until the other one takes a machine gun, and if he has a machine gun, the other one takes a tank. However, we have never heard that if someone takes a stick and wants to hit with it, the other one takes a tank to fight the one who took the stick. It is likewise in the work. It cannot be said that we must go against Pharaoh with a mighty hand. If Pharaoh does not resist very strongly, and since the Creator wanted to show him a mighty hand, here Creator had to harden Pharaoh's heart, as it is written, for I have hardened his heart and the heart of his servants, that I may set these tokens of mine within him. However, we should understand why it is written that the Creator hardened Pharaoh's heart, because the Creator wanted to set those tokens so that the name of the Creator would become known. One is the Creator deficient? Does he need others to know that he can set tokens and signs? Also, what does it imply to us in their work that we should know this for generations? According to what Balaam said about the question that Abraham asked after the Creator promised him, as it is written, and he said to him to give you the land to inherit it. He asked, how will I know that I will inherit it? And he said to Abraham, know for certain that your descendants will be strangers in a land that is not theirs, and they will be enslaved and afflicted 400 years, and afterward they will come out with many possessions. He asked, what is the answer to Abraham's question? How will I know that I will inherit? In meaning, what is the meaning of what the Creator replied to him, know for certain that your descendants will be strangers, and they will be afflicted, and afterward they will come out with many possessions. He asked, the text implies that the answer was satisfactory, since Abraham did not ask further, and we see that Abraham's way was to argue with the Creator, as in the case of the people of Sodom, when the Creator said to Abraham, the outcry of Sodom and Gomorrah is indeed great, but here when he told him no for certain, he was pleased with a reply. He said that since Abraham saw the magnitude of the inheritance that he had promised to his sons, Abraham thought according to the rule that there is no light without a cle, without a vessel, meaning there is no lack without a thing. He did not see that the children of Israel would need such high degrees and attainments in the upper worlds, which is why he asked the Creator, how will I know that I will inherit it, since they haven't the vessels or the need for the great inheritance? But you are showing me that you will give to my sons. They haven't the need. To this the Creator replied, to him I will give them a need for the light, just as I will give them the lights. In other words, the Creator will give them both the light and the vessels. Do not think that I bestow only the abundance, rather I bestow upon them both the need, which is called cle, and the abundance, which is called lack. And thing by the people of Israel being in exile in Egypt 400 years, which is a complete degree of for discernments by being in exile in a land that is not theirs, meaning that the Egyptians will impart Israel with a desire for self reception, a desire that does not belong to, which is called land from the word return, desire, and their wanting to escape that desire when I make them unable to come out of that governance by themselves and see that only the Creator can help them, and they will have no other choice but to ask me for help. It is as our sages said, he who comes to purify is aided, and the Zohar says that the help is that they are given a holy soul by the many prayers. When they seek the Creator's assist, they will receive a higher degree each time, and by this they will have a need to ask of their Creator. This will cause them to ask of their Creator and receive a higher degree, after which I will be able to give them the inheritance. Thus the Creator deliberately made them unable to overcome, so they would have vessels. It follows that the hardening of the heart was done to Pharaoh in order to make room for a need for the upper lights. If they did not have hard work, they would have no need for the great light. One who's going to fight against someone with a hand or with a stick has no need to use a tank or a cannon against him. For this reason, in order for the lower ones to have a need to receive great lights, they must be faced with strong seapot, which a person must draw great lights in order to break, otherwise he would be content with little. It follows that Pharaoh's hardening of the heart causes them to draw great lights. By this we will understand what we asked. Did he set the tokens in order for the nations to know that the Creator can do miracles and wonders? That is, did he make the hardening of the heart in order to be respected? Does the Creator have grievances against his creations, meaning that he does something against the will of the creatures? After all, the whole purpose of creation is do good to his creations, and here it turns out the opposite, that he made the hardening of the heart to the creatures so everyone would see his greatness, that he is almighty. Now we can understand this. Simply Pharaoh and Egypt refer to the govern of the will to receive that is in the creatures, in order for the creatures to meet to receive the high degrees that the Creator had prepared for them. And our sages said that by their being unable to overcome their will to receive, they will awaken to with the Creator, which came to them by merit of their patriarchs, to whom the Creator promised that their children would be rewarded with a delight and pleasure that he has prepared for the creatures. For this reason he made the hardening of the heart so that they would need to ask the Creator to help them. His help comes, as the Zed says, by bestowing upon them a holy soul. It follows that all the overcoming is that they draw a little bit of illumination from above. By this they will eventually have vessels, meaning a need for the inheritance that the Creator promised to their forefathers. Therefore follows that the verse that I may set these tokens of mine is not for the sake of the Creator, but for the sake of the creatures. It means that through the hardening of the heart that he does to Pharaoh, where the body becomes more assertive each time and does not let a person work in order to bestow, but since man yearns for with the Creator, he must try to make greater efforts each time, or he will be unable to defeated, and in order to receive greater powers, the only counsel is to pray to the Creator. Only he can give him the required forces of the Creator are, as said above, the spiritual force that the Creator gives him each time is called a soul, the light of Torah. This means that each time he receives the letters of the Torah according to the overcoming that he needs to perform. This is called that I may set these tokens of mine, meaning in order for the letters of the Torah to reveal to Israel, he must create in them a need. This is the meaning of the Creator, giving the hardening of the heart for the sake of the create ease. Accordingly, we can understand what we said above, that we need upper abundance for the making of the vessels, meaning to have vessels fit to receive the upper light. This assistance is regarded as the light coming to make the vessel, of which will want to work in order to bestow, as in he who comes to purify is aided once he has obtained the vessels that want to bestow upon the Creator. The abundance comes as abundance and not in order to make vessels in that respect. When he has a desire for the Creator, he no longer needs the hardening of the heart in order to receive the light of the Torah. Since according to the rule, when a person works for his own sake, a different thought comes to him, that from here to from this pleasure, called the pleasure of rest, you should not deny. Yet it follows that the pleasure of rest causes him not to have a need for higher degrees. Instead, he is content with less. This is why the Creator had to give the hardening of the heart, meaning that he sees that he cannot do anything for the Creator, that as long as he has not qualified his vessels to work in order to bestow, and he is still in self-love, they give him satisfaction and a little bit of work for the sake of the Creator, with which he was rewarded. Since he feels that he is working for the Creator, he is satisfied and cannot yearn for higher degrees. It follows that there was no room for the revealing of the letters of the Torah. For this reason, each time he receives some help from above and then descends from his degree once more and wants to enter, that he must receive help once more. It is as it is written about Pharaoh in the plague of the hail, and Pharaoh sent and called for Moses, the Lord is the righteous one, and I and my people are the wicked. Afterward it is written, come unto Pharaoh, for I have hardened his heart, that I may set these tokens of mine within him. That order continues until he corrects his vessels that belong to his degree, and then begins the order of the coming of the lights. However, when he has been rewarded with the vessels of and wants only to bestow upon his Maker, he does not say, now I am saying that I have already given you a lot, and now I want to rest a little bit because I need to receive for my own sake too. Instead, one who has only the desire to bestow does not need to be given hardening of the heart, as when he is making the vessels of ball, since he has no interest in this. One who has been rewarded with the desire to bestow wants only to bestow upon the Creator. It therefore follows that when a person has only the desire to bestow and wants to bring contentment to the Creator, he begins to think what the Creator needs that he can give to the Creator, which he does not have. Therefore he decides that the Creator has no lacks, except that he has created the world with the intention to do good to his creations, for the creatures to receive from him the delight and pleasure. For this reason he asks the Creator to give him the delight and pleasure, because this can be said that he needs for the lower ones to receive from him the great light that have been prepared for the creatures. From this we can say that the Creator enjoys, but if the lower ones are unable to receive the light of Torah, called letters of the Torah, it is as though there is a lack. Above this is the meaning of what our sages said when a person regrets what does the say, my head is heavy, my arm is heavy. Thus when there is contentment above, when is there contentment above? Only when the creatures have delight and pleasure. For this reason at that time there is no room for hardening of the heart. Rather, the time when hardening of the heart must be given from above is only for the purpose of making vessels of bestow, so that one can receive delight and pleasure, which is in order to set these tokens of mine. We should interpret that this refers to letters, for letters are called vessels that is in order for a person to have a need, called vessels. There needs to be a hardening of the heart, as it is written, that I may set these tokens of mine. But once he has the vessels, there is no more a need for the hardening of the heart. Now we can understand what we asked about the connection between Passover mat and as H did at the time when the temple stood and said it was to keep what was said, they shall eat it with unleavened bread, with mat and bitter herbs and mar. We asked what this implies in the work of the Creator. According to the above, it follows that the essence of the purpose of the work is to achieve with the Creator, because of the disparity of form within us due to the will to receive that was imprinted in us. The creatures became removed from the Creator. That is mainly what we must correct. However, the question is, how do we correct this, since equivalent to form is about bestowing and not receiving? And how can we go against nature, since the body has its own nature? The answer is through the power of Torah. And if the creatures were to receive the force of bestow, easily they would settle for this, since they would feel that they are already giving, and they would have no need to reveal the letters of their Torah, as was said, that I may set these tokens of mine. For the Creator wants to reveal to them their Torah as the names of the Creator. But from where will they take the need for this after all, once they have prevailed over the will to receive and want only to bestow upon the Creator they already have? What else do they need? Also, it is known that there is no light without a vessel, and no thing without a lack. So what did the Creator do? He gave the hardening of the heart, so that a person will not be able to overcome the evil in him by himself, but will need help from the Creator. As was said, he who comes to purify is aided with a holy soul. Concerning the soul, it is written in the book or Essays, fruit at is Bam. There are 5 discernments in the soul, and they are called Naranai. In the Naranai we make 2 discernments, 1 light, 2 vessels. We obtain thine the vessels of the Narai by observing the 613 mitzvot of the Torah and the 7 mitzvot of our great sages. The lights of Nar are the essence of the Torah, and the light clothed in the Torah is N. It follows that the Torah and the soul are one. Their Creator is N, who is clothed in the light of the Torah that exists in the above-mentioned 620. This is the meaning of what our sages said. The whole of the Torah is the names of the Creator. This means that the Creator is the whole, and the 620 names are pieces and parts. These parts are according to the steps and degrees of the soul, which does not receive its light as once, but gradually, one at a time. From this we see that the Creator has made it so that man will be unable to overcome the evil by himself, but we need the Creator's help. But there is a state of in between, meaning that this causes one to taste bitterness in the work, because the body does not let him work in order to bestow. This causes him to quarrel with the Creator over why he has created a body that is so bad that he is utterly incapable of exiting the governance of evil, called will to receive for himself, when all the vessels that a person needs to complement himself are completed, so as to have a vessel in which to hold their blessing. He begins to feel the salvation of their Creator, meaning that he feels on himself the nearing of the Creator. By this we will understand the connection between and the Passover offering through Mat and Mar. He obtains the real need for the letters of their Torah. That is only through Mat and Mar does a need for the Creator's help form within him, and his help is through the soul, regarded as the Torah and the Creator are one, as said in the book of Sages. Fruit, when he has the need, Creator brings a person closer, and this is called the Passover offering, when the Creator passes over all of his flaws and brings him closer to be rewarded with the purpose of creation. Won't thank you, Orin. Indeed, it's a complete article. Kaf, K. Yes, the last question, the last sentence. It's written when he has the need. The Creator brings a person closer. Yes, what is a need? A need is a lack that the person wishes to feel, and this is called the Passover offering, when the Creator passes over all of his deficiencies or flaws and brings him closer to be rewarded with the purpose of creation. Yes, when does the Creator pass over all the deficiencies of a person? The person only feels the results. Until then he doesn't know when. What is the condition for that in which the Creator will pass over the deficiencies? If the deficiencies or flaws from the side of the person would be correct deficiencies, then you could say that they are ready. So the Creator giver can respond to them. Okay, can. Yes, this process, does it always return on itself? Yes, but it repeats in a different forms, different manners, but fundamentally this is how it is. Meaning a person somewhat wants to come to bestow, he sees it's impossible. He comes to this marrow, this. He fights with a Creator, and then he has this deficiency, and then gets help. And he turns to the Creator, he turns to the Creator, yes, and then he gets help. Finishes that degree, and then he starts anew. Well, it's not felt as, and let's put it this way, it's like when we play within something. So it's true, I have the ball, I pass it on to you, you pass it on to me, I pass it on to you. If you tell someone, I mean, what kind of con action is this? So it's the same, but this is how we feel. It's so want to ask about that, because he writes here that whoever is in ball has no hardening of the heart. He has no need for a hardening of the heart. So if that's the aspiration, to be in a state where we have no need for hardening of the heart, he's already in order to bestow. So he doesn't have the hardening of their heart. Where does the hardening of their heart come from? Because you want to receive, and you're being given a small part that you do receive, and you remain empty, and once again you perform certain actions, you perform certain connections, and it takes you a lot of time and efforts. You're able to raise your deficiency. It's a dirty deficiency, let's pull it this way, and so it turns out that until you raise your deficiency and you want to get rid of it, that's it. This is how. And then in the next he gets another new desire, which will be greater. So again he left the hardening of the heart, really, yes, but by this you receive an understanding, an awakening, the knowledge that this response is the right response. It is the right response. The fact that what you feel is actually the answer to your efforts. Okay, good, let's see how it works. Yes, how can the body give a person fuel? Provide a person with fuel, giving him certain importance in the work, a certain taste in the feeling. That's its second question. There are 7 MIT that we need to do in order to receive what are they. Know the 7 commandments. It's necessary in order to rise to a degree where we begin to accept the commandments as a filling. It's unrelated to what we're studying now about the holiday of Passover. You said to Ain at the beginning of the lesson that we need to reveal correct deficiencies. What are correct deficiencies? Correct deficiencies, we will discover the same deficiency as a what Rabash, the author of the article, wants to reveal to us, to pass on to us. Deficiencies that he wants to pass on to us, do they come seemingly through the friends? Yes and no, because I always tell us that we need to reach a state where we need to feel the deficiencies of the friends, not my own deficiencies. I need to care about feeling the friends' deficiencies first and foremost, but the fact that you want to feel the deficiencies of the friends, by this you actually feel your own deficiency. So how do I know if the deficiency is correct or incorrect? If I first look at the deficiency of the friend, this deficiency is in order to bestow for you. Yes, this is why it is correct. This is what is revealed to you, that this is what you need to fill. Can I ask another small question? Is the help of the Creator on the path? Is that a screen that he gives me, which a stronger and stronger screen, over and stronger that he lets me overcome all the more and more states? The fact that we overcome the disturbances seemingly coming from the Creator that he presents to us, this is what brings us the screen. K. Mulmarley. Yes, you spoke about a game, and there's this feeling that Rabash wants to give us the rules of the game that the creator is playing. Yes, how important is it that we understand this format of the game that we will be active players in it. It's desirable that we will understand it, connect with it, and feel the game that he's giving us, certainly that we will understand it and the state. You haven't come out of Egypt yet. How can you be in contact with the creator? Let's say that now he's burdening Pharaoh's heart. Yes, so you can identify in Egypt with Moses and let him suffer, like, says sort of. Yes, and that helps a person in the process to understand. What person who understands the game, the laws of the game better, what does that help him? He understands better. He puts his desire in his reaction towards the creator, and this is how he advances. More thank you. Yes, I want to continue this game because Rash wants to pass something to us, and me too. I feel that actually is saying that there are two types of despair, that the creator actually wants us to reach a despair from our forces, and Pharaoh is doing everything, so we will be the spirit of the work and run out. Now there's a feeling that as long as I'm in Rash's game and he takes us through this process, so that's the field of that's the game court, and I'm only a result, like you said. A person is a result, he just feels what's going on with him. Court is actually to understand that the creator will take us through this process to be the spirit of our own forces, and we just need patience. Not only patience, we still need to try to get into the game and play, really accept this game that the creator is showing us that in a different place. It gives an example that one comes with his force, so the other one has to come with his own force too, and then if someone takes a stick, then he takes a stick against him. If one takes a tank, then the other takes a tank against him, etc. Yeah, thank you. Yes, he writes that every overcoming by a person brings a bit of an illumination from above. Before he wrote that against a strong cot, you need a strong illumination. Yes, so how to draw a strong illumination? Through labor together with a friends. What's the difference between a big illumin to overcoming, or is it personal overcoming, and a strong overcoming is by the whole T? It's impossible to explain. Try. Yes, good morning. It's an exceptional article leads us here that you actually feel all the states and all the moments of great despair by the world to receive. On one hand, on the other hand, towards the end, like a relief that there is a path, that there's a part here that grabbed me, that he says that the Egyptians are talking to us in words of holiness, and that's the most dangerous place to be in. So how not to fall into that place, that the Egyptians are speaking words of holiness and using it only for the world to receive. Let's hope that we will hold on to each other and not fall, so it's only holding on to each other, because a person for himself, it's easy to fall into that. Yes, Ken, I want to ask about a person's mood that writes that we want or we succeed to be bid and be still, so we were in a bad mood, like Stenji writes that, but one who walks the path of truth constantly has to be happy. Yes, but there's also the article that he writes that we can only help each other in good spirits and good move. Yes, so how to give the correct good mood to the friends, how to do it correctly, that we really invite a force to give us a good mood at any time, and then what we will fly among the clouds. We can't ask this, we where's our work, our labor, where will a person be in general? We have to understand that a person is a discernment that comes from below and from above, from both directions, and when they connect between them like dresses in the vessel, for example, then it pertains to a person's reality. Then a person seems like a created being, and therefore we need to think some more how we discern a person. What when I'm trying to give friend a good mood, so I also get a good mood myself, is that okay? Because we know from experience that if you try and make the friends happy, you become happy, but how to do it correctly, that you won't get a good mood from the wrong things. For this you need a Screen. For this you need a screen, otherwise you'll begin to convey the strength in order to receive. So that's exactly the question. I understand that that's the question, so we'll see it in the future. Can I keep asking about it also in this article, also the previous ones? He says that the work in play and with the bricks that you feel how difficult it is and hard. On the other hand, he says that sometimes he explains on the good side at there's a justification and we should be in good spirits that we're coming closer to the Creator. And here he says that it's the Egyptian's quality. He says no, you go in a state that isn't difficult work when it's easy, that's the right work. Yes, so how to use these bricks through the power of their group, through the power of their group. How exactly do you build this? Talk to the friends and see. Everyone has this work, everyone has this problem. If we connect, we can take from this all the forces to bring themselves out from this pit. What are we doing next? Oh, and maybe friends that came from overseas have questions. Friends came from abroad, maybe they want to ask. Okay, so whoever came from overseas and has questions, please ask. Yes. When will all the letters of the Torah be revealed? When they're done. When they're all revealed, it'll be the end of correction. When? It depends on humanity. It depends on humanity. Can we affect it, influence it? Yeah, we can influence it. Yes, we can influence it seriously by demanding, asking, praying to the Creator. He is the only one who can give us such strength, such thoughts, desires, help, etc. And when we receive the strength, we will be able to approach all the letters of the Torah. We will also know in what order to go, what to correct, and what to fill. This way illuminate all the letters of the Torah. Yeah, more. Yes, the beginning of the article says that the sons of Israel sighed from the work, and the cry went up. Those are the conditions we need in principle. Yes, the fact that they say, that's clear, that you're lacking something, but that cry to the Creator, what needs to happen? Where does that come from? Where does it burst out of? From a feeling of helplessness when they want to connect in order to succeed in obtaining the filling from the Creator to their efforts, but they see that they can't do it. From this also comes that outcry, like someone who's drowning in the sea. He can't do anything other than cry out for help. This war with the ego, that you have the stick and the tank, there's a state that they take your forces away and then they give more forces and more forces are taken away. So how to prepare yourself correctly to such a state where to take the forces from? In the end, you just lie down and can't do anything. Only the friends, if they are, they can come to your help to revive you. I can't even pray, of course. The friends need to feel me with them in some way, so they are somewhat connected to you. Somehow they are receiving from you, through you, some signs from the Creator. Thank you. Yes. Shum. For no, it's written that the mistake was the mistake, or the malfunction was when the Egyptians were speaking to Israel in the language of the fear of the heavens, that in that language all the mistakes happened to Israel. So why is asking what language were the Egyptians speaking to Israel?